सदाशिवा समारम्भं शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तं वन्दे गुरु परम्परम् वन्दे गुरु परम्परम् वन्दे गुरु प्रणवानन्दम्. O Lord Shiva, you take that form as a human being. You came out of consciousness, the original divine power that the whole universe was created from. And you came as Adi Shankaracharya, one of the greatest gurus that re-established our monastic Hinduism and reconciled ritualistic Hinduism when it was in decline and the advent of Buddhism, 2,500 years plus. And you've come again as spiritual master for us at the Bharat Sevashram Shang. You came as Swami Pranavanandaji. Swami Pranavanandaji is no other than a manifestation of consciousness. We might call him Guru, but he's God. So we shouldn't be like mixing up that he's no other than God. So this morning is a very eventful morning because last night we would have joined monks in Zoom coming from Trinidad, and we did Guru Purnima with devotees. But before we talk about that, which is after just between the Arati, let us do some worship and chanting and it's spiritualized this morning here in Jamaica, Queens, New York. Om Bhadran Karnibhi Srinyama Bhadrang Pashimakshabhirajatra Stirairangaistastavam Sastanobi Vyaseva Deva Hitamyanayo Swasti no Indro Vrihastava Swasti na Pusha Vishwadeva Swasti na Staksho Varishtanemi Swasti no Vrahaspati Ardhadatu. Oh Lord, with these two hands and two legs and all our faculties, five senses and all our bodily faculties and mental and spiritual, intellectual, let us serve you, let us help you to sustain your creation. And from this way we will become like you. This is our prayer, we want to be like you. And we'll be worshiping you this morning. And what? We'll be surrendering ourselves to you. So Pranavanandaji, Guru Maharaj, no other than Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Om Namo Sri Bhagavate Pranavaya. Om Namo Sri Bhagavate Pranavaya. Namo Namah, Namo Namah, Namo Namah, Namo Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Prabhu Namo Namah. See, he is no other than the creator, the sustainer, and the destroyer of evil. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Devotees, when I was through and listening to monks last night, and myself was there, and last night, Swami Divyanandaji would have spoken. He spoke from Kolkata. And what a very interesting stories he would get and so appropriate for Guru. And then the first night, our Swamiji, from respected Swamiji from Guyana, Siv Shankarananda spoke. And I did the second night. And Brahmachari, with his wisdom, he thought about this idea of bringing monks together through the Zoom, and devotees, they all participated, monks and devotees participated equally to produce a very powerful worship of Guru and Guru Purnima. But before I do that, I just want to read something because it's predicated on what I'll be speaking here this morning. And it is so necessary that in these times that, the Shanga, Bharat Sevashram Shang, it has a spiritual master, Swami Pranavanandaji, who is the founder. And then he would have created Swamijis. And one of the things that he always stressed that monks should always be, that this is their this is the family. That the monks of Bharat Sevashram Sheng, we would have done our last rites, meaning we would have ended our life and we would have started a new life. And meaning that if you end your life, like if you were to die, all your relatives will go away. All your loved ones will not be there with you anymore. And you have to continue your journey to moksha and liberation. Well, for Swamijis, we don't have to wait to die. We perform the rites, and then our father has become Swami Pranavanandaji. Our mother is Swami Pranavanandaji. Everything is Swami Pranavanji. Guru Mata Pita, Guru Bandhu Sakha, Tere Charanam mein Guru, Mera Koti Pranam. Tumi Jnana Data, Tumi Shakti Rata, Tumi Shanti Rata, Tumi Mukti Rata, Tere Charanam mein Guru, Mera Koti Pranam. And this bhajan is saying, oh Lord, your father, your mother, your friend, your companion, your everything, that your Jnana Data, Shakti Data, Shanti Data, Mukti Data, divine knowledge, peace, inner peace, tranquility, and you are the one who will be liberating us. So he would have said in the Shanga Gita to his sons, the monks and brahmacharis, this, Shanga Vivek. How does the spiritual life of the Shanga monks become degenerated? By mutual quarrel, adverse criticisms against one another, harboring feelings of hatred and malice amongst Shanga monks themselves, distrust, derision, and want of mutual cooperation. What are the real sins of the Shanga monk? Answer: doing anything undesirable or not sanctioned by the Shanga Lord, Swami Pranavanandaji. Disobedience to the behest of the Shanga Lord, following one's own whims and hobbies, having forsaken and forgotten the morals, ideals enjoyed by the Shanga Lord. To indulge in the thoughts of the secular world, of the outer world, without paying any heed to the high spiritual ideas and ideas of the Shanga Lord. To consider himself as a common worldly man, weak and inert, forgetting his own power and indifference to the lofty prestige and immense spiritual wealth of the Shanga. How does this life of a selfless Shanga monks get spoiled? By forsaking discrimination and passion, intellect, by indulging in sensuality and anger, by disobeying the teachings and the directions of the Shanga Lord, in whose spiritual grace he has taken shelter. This is something that is so powerful, that was written by Swami Pranavanandaji to his children, the Swamijis and Brahmacharis, and devotees also. You can learn from that and apply it to your life also. You know, we're doing the Guyana Sevashram Sheng, and there was a building that was established by Swami Vidyanandaji. You know, Swami Vidyanandaji is a disciple of Swami Purnanandaji. Purnanandaji created that Kovanjan ashram with the donation of land. And there were many disciples, but Swami Vidyanandaji would have stuck with his guru and would have listened to him everything. So the two of them are the main pillars of the ashram. Why? Because they were able to create brahmacharis. Swami Purnananda created brahmacharis, one of them Swami Vidyananda, and with that divine power, he attracted young boys and they became brahmacharis. I'm one of the recipients of those to have the privilege and the blessings and grace to be under the tutelage of Swami Vidyanandaji in New York. And so many other monks. One of them now is in taking care of the ashram in Guyana, Swami Shiva Shankaranandaji, and Brahmachari Devrata in Trinidad. And they were all on the call last night. And I'm thinking that with the project in Guyana, it is a big challenge. And naturally, it is going to be disagreements in opinion. But one of the things that we have to understand that Guyana, Sevashram Sheng, and Hindu College, it's being powered by the spirituality. And we have Miss Rajkumari there. She has been doing a good job for the last 50 years. She recently, in a couple of years, she became the principal there. And her life as a celibate and living the life of brahmacharyam has been powered at ashram, and she'll continue to serve. And others will serve under her. But there is other groups that are coming in, like the Zara group, and they're doing fantastic work there. They'll be handling the computer section of the ashram, of the school. And we have times of changing. We have to, when we have to embrace when help like this is coming. And if there are any discrepancies, they have to be addressed directly with each other. And this way the ashram and the school progress. Because without the progress of this Hindu college, the ashram cannot progress. And so everyone has to know their responsibility. I will be there listening, and I will not dabble into the affairs of the school. I might say something that when it's appropriate about the spiritual side, but I do not know much about running schools and so many other people. So those who are responsible or taking the responsibility of running the school, they have to be the right people. And again, under the leadership and guidance of Mrs. Rajkumari and the Swamiji there. But she's the one, she has experience. And that will make the ashram prosper, the school. And the Zara group, they give them the free will, because we need the help. And they are willing to sustain the IT section, because we want the school is now called Hindu College and Institutes of Technology. So we have to give them the free will to work without looking over our shoulders. They are not our enemies, they're not our challengers, but they are there to cooperate and collaborate. And so in every aspect of the ashram, the Swamiji is there. He has a lot to do, and I admire his initiative that when no one was there to look after the Guyana ashram in 2003, at the request of Swami Vidyanandaji, he left and he gave up his green card to America, the right to stay, and he went to Guyana and he took up that commitment, and it's a total commitment on his part. And my commitment to him is that to protect him and help him, and he has a place in the Guyana ashram as long as he chooses to be there. So with that being said, also monks have to have rules. I will like to say to Swamiji in Guyana that transparency is such an important part, because when someone gives you the money, Purnananda Swamiji demonstrated it. There was no question in no one's mind how he utilized the money. He was very transparent, because whenever someone gives you money, you have the responsibility of the Swamiji or on your staff, meaning you have to develop an internal control, because you can't do anything collecting the money and counting it and putting it in the bank. No, then that there's questionability. So I'm advising Swamiji to really give up that responsibility and set up a system of internal control for the finances, and to just look it over. And also in the school, set up that system. And also Swamiji will be looking after the whole operations, but not the micromanaging the school. That he'll be there to give it strength, and so, because his task is to really improve, to sustain his spiritual life, and being in contact with Swamijis all over the world to gain their blessings, and once in a while to go to Kolkata and Magh Purnima and be with the monks there. Because Guru Maharaj would have said, all monks, the excuse should not be, well, I can't leave the ashram in Guyana. No, let someone else be there during that time. But all monks, every year, they should seek to go one time and be in the congregation of this other sannyasin, either in Durga Puja or Magh Purnima, Durga Puja in October. So these are some of the thoughts that are going through my mind after Maghi Purnima. Because of the project in Guyana, we want to see let it go smoothly. And there's a gentleman from Canada Mr. Lake Singh, Lake Ji. He's taking of the finances, and that is formally established. He has that background and a legal background. So we have so many people working together. The Zara Group, which is Jay Subraj, and also Nardir Singh and Sravan Budhu. And we have Kubalaji is coming on, but you know, he will say bluntly that he's not a religious or spiritual person, but he's pure academic and from logic. So he has to acknowledge to not to be involved in spiritual matters, because if you know no spiritual matters, the running of the ashram has to be done by monks, and the monk has to always communicate this. He has to be very verbal. He's and outreach to the whole of the community, because we need the community to give us donations for this project, and with help from devotees, he has to reach out there. I have the opportunity of serving and going and collecting money from the Essex Coast, the Parika and the Berbies, and going to relief work in Maika Creek and Maikoni Creek. And I know that from experience, that when you collect money from each, the poor and the rich, then the ashram is survivable. But to depend solely on foreign money is really inviting an ingredient for the failure of the ashram. So this is the message today, that for Magh Purnima, who is doing all of this? Swami Pranavanandaji. And through his hands, and who are his hands and legs, and they are the monks and devotees like you. So today, let us pray for the well-being of the Gayana Seva Ashram Sheng. We are there. I could see the project is already over. We'll be moving over the school from the old building, which is not safe anymore, to a much beautiful building that was created by Swami Vidyanandaji and sitting there for a long time, like 20 years. And now we have resurrected it. And the sin of taking money and having a building sitting there, millions of dollars for so long, has been lifted. And this new project is going to be vibrant, and so many children, hundreds of children will benefit. We are looking to do an efficient running of the school with the cooperation of all you, the devotees, donors, and disciples of Bharat Seva Ashram Sheng. With that being said, let's call upon the Guru to give us all the guidance for this project. For in his mind, it's all over. So before that, let us all do the cleansing, and then we'll be doing the arati. Om Gange Chayamane Chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmada Sindhu Kaveri Jale Asmin Snanidhim Kuru. Om Kurukshetra Gaya Ganga Prabhasa Pushkarani Cha Tirtanyatani Punyani Kale Bhavantoha. Om Amrito Pasternamasi Swaha Amrita Pidhanamasi Swaha. Om Satyam Yashasrimaye Srayatam Swaha. Om Shano Devi Ravishtaya Apo Bhavanta Pitaye Shano Ravi Sravantunam. Om Vak Vak, Om Prana Prana, Om Chakshu Chakshu, Om Srotram Srotram, Om Nabhi, Om Hridayam, Om Kantaham Siraha, Om Bahopyam Yashobalam, Om Karetala Karaprishte, Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachate, Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Jnanamulam Gurur Murti Puja Mulam Guru Param Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam Moksha Mulam Guru Kripa. Bol Sisi Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Sahasra Shirisha Purusha Sahasrakshu Sahasrapat Sabhumin Sarvato Sritva Atyatishta Dashangulam. Om Sarvatah Pani Padantat Sarvato Akshi Shiro Mukam Sarvatah Sruti Maloke Sarvamavritya Tishtate. Om Jyoti Shama Pika Jyoti तामसः परमुच्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं ज्ञानगम्यं हृदि सर्वस्यावेष्टितम् ॐ गतिर्भर्ता प्रभु साक्षी निवासो शरणं सुरे प्रभवा प्रलयस्थानं निधानं बीजमभयम् ॐ त्वमादिदेवा पुरुषो पुराण त्वमस्य विश्वस्य परं निधानं त्वमभयो स्वस्वतो धर्मगुप्त सनातनस्त्वं पुरुषो मतो मे ॐ पितासि लोकस्य चराचरस्य त्वमस्य पूजस्य गरुर्गर्यं न त्वत्समोऽस्ति अभ्यादिकः कुतोऽन्यो लोकत्रये अपि अप्रतिमं प्रभावो ॐ करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा ॐ करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा ॐ करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा ॐ करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा ॐ करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा ॐ करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा ॐ करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा ॐ करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा ॐ करो जया गुरु ॐ करो जया शिवा ॐ Let us do the prayers. Join me as we do that prayer to adore and glorify our Guru Swami Pranavananda Ji as God, incarnation of Lord Shiva, manifestation of consciousness. With clasped hands and closed eyes, let us chant. ॐ ज्ञानं तिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ मन्त्रसत्यं पूजा सत्यं सत्यं देवानिरञ्जनं गुरुर्वाक्यं सदा सत्यं सत्यमेवा परमं परम्। ॐ अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्परं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ॐ पितृमातृसुरेरबन्धु विद्यातीर्थानि देवता नातुल्यं गुरुणा सेवं स्पर्शयेत् परमं परम्। ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरुर्देवा परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ ध्यानमूलं गुरुर्मूर्ति पूजामूलं गुरुपरं मन्त्रमूलं गुरुर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरुकृपा। ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमासुकरं केवलं ध्यानमूर्तिं दन्त्वातीतं गगनसादृशं तत्त्वमस्याधिलक्ष्यम्। ॐ एकं नित्यं विमलं चलं सर्वरासाक्षिभूतं भवातीतं त्रिगुणारहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुस्य सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। गुरुकृपा हि केवलं गुरुकृपा हि केवलम्। ॐ गुरुकृपा हि केवलं गुरुकृपा हि केवलं गुरुकृपा हि केवलं गुरुकृपा हि केवलं। बोलो गुरु महाराज की जय। Well, it was nice having you here today. You know, in life, we have to be very practical. We have to learn from our experience. That when we have good experiences, then that's how we can lead. Whether you're a parent or you're Swamiji or you're a student, whatever, good experiences, then your leadership is so counted. And this morning, I'm praying for all of us, including you listening, that, when we undertake a project like the Guyana project, there's so many people there, and I mentioned some names already, but there are some others that are there. Everyone who is joining, including Brahmachari from Trinidad, Dev Brata, he's joining with us. Moses Ji and Mr. Suku, he's a certified accountant to give transparency. He's doing a good job with Canada. We want to include Guyana's transparency and consolidate those two financial numbers. And we have Indravati Manohar. She's doing dynamic work. She has she's helping so much to do collections and making contacts with corporations and to bring in the money, local people, dynamic work. And we have our secretary, Ms. Loknath, and then we have like Santosh Govindji. And these are all people that are helping, and Ramesh, and if I forget a name, it's hard to remember everyone, but if I do, pardon me for that. But please give your blessings, and I know Guru Maharaj is going to give, and I'm asking for the blessings of all Swamijis and Bharat Sevashram Singh to give their blessings. One of the things I cherish is to be among my brother monks. If I don't be with them for 1 year, and to really check and see how am I doing. Because when you're out there by yourself in an ashram for many years, it is natural that the environment that you're in will creep into your life, and that can cause havoc for you. So this is one thing that our all Swamijis should remember. If you can go there constantly, daily, be in contact with one Swamiji, because this is the family of Bharat Seva Ashram Sheng, the Swamijis and Brahmacharis. With that, let us pray to the Guru Maharaj and ask him for his blessings. Guru Kripahi Kevalam, Guru Kripahi Kevalam, Guru Kripahi Kevalam, Guru Kripahi Kevalam. To the devotees, whatever station in your life, a student, grihasti, vanpras, we pray for you for success. But remember, it is through human effort that God's grace comes. Avoid thoughts that weaken you. Serve in every station of your life with honesty and integrity. Hari Om. Shanti, Shanti, Hari Om. Well, have a beautiful day, and it's good to have you there this morning with me, and we'll catch up soon. Hari Om. Shanti, Shanti, Hari Om.